Action.
How do we do relationship when the people we love struggle to ask for what they need? Welcome to the Life Series, YouTube Shorts designed to help you stay encouraged in your midweek. Today we're talking about how we perform poorly when the stakes are the highest, and sometimes we don't let people know what our hearts really need. The visual for this that Rach and I have developed and use is this. Oftentimes, in difficult conversations, what we present to people is, go away, and I don't want to talk about this, and we get defensive, and we get irritated, and this is what they see. But really, what we need is for them to come close. Let me give you an example of what this can look like in relationship. Recently, I got into the office, and I went to my desk, and I was thinking about how amazing my wife Rachel is. I was thinking about her as a mom and how she's always giving. I was thinking about her as a pastor and how she's leading people. I was thinking of her as a business owner and all these incredible things. She is Proverbs 31. And I thought, you know what she needs? She needs a night away with a friend. And so I reached out to a friend of hers. I texted, I said, could you guys go away for a night? We made the plans. I was the rock star husband. And so here's what I was thinking. I was hoping that when I got home, I'd walk in the door and she would reach out her arms and she would give me that love language need of mine, which is some words of affirmation. Baby, you are so good to me. But of course, because at our house, dinner time and bedtime is a little bit crazy. Come on, we got 3 young kids. Well, what she really gave to me instead was some of the stuff I wasn't doing that well. So here's what I started to do. I started to get a little irritated, a little pushy, a little bit prickly. Thankfully, Rachel being Rachel knew that this is what I was showing her, but this is what I really needed. And instead of getting upset and pushing back towards me, she came downstairs and she sat down close to me and she put her hand on my leg and she said, hey, I think what you need me to say is, and she went on to give me some of those words of affirmation. I was doing this, but needing this. There's so many expressions of this in our lives. I think about our kids, parents. Maybe your kid has a difficult day at school. They feel dumb because they get asked a question in class they don't know the answer to, or they got bullied, or they felt alone. And they come home and they start slamming doors. Instead of asking for what they need, hey, mom and dad, I really need you to come close to me and notice that this was a difficult day. Most of our kids don't talk like that. What do? No, they say, I don't want to ever see you again. They tell a sibling, I don't want to be your brother, or I don't want to be your sister. Everything is pushing away, but what they really need is for us to come close. I love in the Bible how so many times people approach Jesus like this, but he knows they need this. I think of Matthew's Gospel, the 17th chapter, where Jesus takes Peter, James, and John up a mountainside to be alone with them. He's transfigured before their eyes and they see his glory. And the voice of the Father comes from heaven and says, this is my beloved Son, in whom I'm well pleased. Listen to him. This is one of those moments where I'm sure they wanted to do their best. I'm sure, thinking back on it, they would have wanted to notice the love of the Father on Jesus, and they would have wanted to listen, but instead they ducked for cover. They got down on the ground, they closed their ears, they closed their eyes. They thought, I can't even see, this is too overwhelming for me. They wanted to do their best, they were doing their worst. Jesus saw this, we can't handle this. And instead of moving away from them, what did he do? He noticed that what they really needed was this. The Bible tells us that he walked over, he put a hand on their shoulder, he touched them. So what do we do with this? Number one, we notice that when we want to do our best, often we do our worst. And so we ask ourselves this question, where right now in relationship am I pushing away instead of asking someone to come close? Or flip it around, where am I in relationship where someone I love is struggling to ask for what they need and showing me this? And instead of pushing away or maybe even pushing back, I might need to just move close and say, I'm here. Well, thanks so much for joining us today on the Life Series. If you missed week number 1, you can check that out right here. Remember to subscribe, share this with someone you know who might need it, and we'll see you next time in the Life Series.